Welcome to another episode of the Fanzone podcast, your home for all things Bolton Wanderers, up the Trotters, the Northwest's #1 podcast.
Evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of the Fanzone podcast, titled Royal Crumble 2.0, after a frustrating draw, 2 points dropped last night. Tonight with me is lovely Ange. Good evening.
We should have called it Let's Get Ready to Crumble.
Hey, I know, yeah. Well, we needed that a few hours ago, didn't we? Anyway.
Oh, yeah.
And we're also here joined by Chris Dawson. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm all right, mate. All considered. Yeah, getting there.
Yeah, I kind of got over it last night, but yeah. So, yes, just before we move on, we are obviously sponsored by the lovely My Socials. If you have anything social media wise, website wise, you need doing, get involved, get in contact with them. They're brilliant. Also, before we get into it tonight, as you noticed, we have a lovely new intro for this season, and have someone very, very conveniently pointed out to us. We do have an ex-player on there scoring at the Emirates last season, which we kind of need to get rid of that, don't we, and move on. So,
Yay!
So this is a chance for any viewers that want to be a part of the podcast to get their video clips sent in to us and get a little shout out on the intro. So we're going to be doing this. I don't know how often. We said maybe monthly, maybe I don't know. It's in the works, but there'll be a social media post going out this week, hopefully tomorrow, and get your video clips in, and you'll get a little shout out on the intro. So yeah, that'll be pretty exciting. But yeah, thank you everyone for joining us. Got the usuals. Jordan, nice to see you, mate. Leslie, nice to speak to you last night. Wanderer 1963, Macaulay, Line of Vienna, Alex, and obviously Mr. Tong, awaiting his visit on Saturday. Nice to have you all.
Jack, yeah, welcome.
Yeah, he's very excited about his new Ukrainian midfielder that Lincoln have just signed today, who nobody had ever heard of this time last week.
No, I've just been.
Oh, I him on Football Manager, I'm sure.
Oh.
Yeah, I've just been watching his videos actually, in like sports. Well, I was going to say in stadiums, but they're more like little like athletic stadiums where there's like no crowd and stuff like that. So yeah, I can see why you're getting obsessed and excited by him, Jakey. Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, I'm sure by this time next season he'll be labelled the best midfielder in League One by Jake, because they always have one of them at some point.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, we digress. Back to last night. It was a 1-1 draw with Reading. We gifted them their first point of the season.
Charity Wanderers strike again.
Yeah. Let's get straight into it. Oh, and we're back with segments.
I can't not do that.
No. I louded that for everybody.
Yeah, we've had a couple of comments that, well, in real life, really. My mate yesterday said at the match that when he was listening to the preview of the day, he basically had to turn his headphones down when the mid-rolls came on. So a bit of feedback would be good. If it's too loud, we can tweak that for the next show. I mean, it seems okay on our end, but look, you're the viewers, you're in charge.
Yeah,
so
you're the important ones.
It's your show as well as ours.
Yeah.
So yeah, post-match reactions. Let's get straight into it. Chris, go on, give us your thoughts on last night.
I'll sum it up with
Don't sum it up with what you put in the shower.
Don't bring that up. I was grumpy this morning, very grumpy.
Yeah, when we got none of it.
Yeah, so obviously for the viewers, we've got a WhatsApp group or 5, maybe 6, and I proper lost it this morning.
Can confirm.
Yeah, the expression I'm going to use is all fur coat and no knickers.
Yeah.
Like it.
Now, I'm not that blinkered, and I'm not that much of a happy clapper. I'll fall somewhere in the middle, but there is improvement. The way that we play football is radically different to how we played football prior to Steven Schumacher. However, football is about winning games, and we didn't. We looked good. In parts, we looked mouth-wateringly good. However, if you don't convert and score your chances or create chances, then it counts for little or nothing. In my mind, call me traditional, call me old-fashioned, but that's why I use that term, all fur coat, no knickers. It was very frustrating. And I think we've found that to get out of this league, you don't necessarily do that by playing attractive, wonderful football. You just find a way to win. So my summary is that it was massively frustrating, but entertaining at the same time.
Yeah, can't really disagree with that. Ange, any more thoughts to add to that?
I mean, not many. I don't think anybody really wasn't frustrated. We got even the people who said it'll come. It still was frustrating. I said at halftime, "Oh, it's going to be one of them nights." You just felt like it, didn't it? Like we had 73% possession, I think, in that first half. 73 to the whatever. The other thing is 20, whatever. But it felt it. But it felt like we were on like a pulley, and as soon as you got to box, we were back again. So yeah, hugely frustrating, but I do kind of enjoy the football they're playing. So, and we had this debate in the chat this morning, and Chris was, I can't even tell you how grumpy Chris was. I can't even tell you how grumpy he was.
Good job, it pods at 8 a.m. on
Should we pull it up and see if I can pull? Well, you keep going. See if I can pull up some sound bites.
I mean, absolutely none of it this morning, and we were all kind of a little bit still on the positivity train. That It's, the first thing. What was the first thing you put in the chat? That the results since January. The results since Shuey came in as manager or something.
Yeah, So I pulled a table off FootMob or Transfer Market or whatever, which was a summary of the results since Steven Schumacher came into the building. First game, ironically, against Reading away, but he didn't know anybody then, did he? He was literally a day into the job. But looking at the results, and you know what? A lot of it was, and I shouldn't let him get to me, and I won't even mention his name because I'm not going to give him the airtime, but that little flightless bird down the road.
Oh, no, you let him get under your skin.
Three wins in 16 for the Horwich Hot Spuds, I think he calls us or something. He makes me laugh. But I think you have got to look at it. There was when I calmed down. Obviously, you got to focus on this season, as you lot kept telling me, and it's still bad. So this season, we've had 66 efforts on goal, 15 on target, and we've scored 4.
The fact we don't trouble a keeper is the thing for me that is worrying. Yeah. We do all the hard work, we do all the graft, and we don't trouble the keeper. They barely need to do anything.
Yeah.
I was going to mention that last night.
Down with cramp on Saturday and he'd not moved. I don't know.
Yeah.
Last night, I mean, you look at the stats, we had 70% possession, we had 21 shots. Of them 21 shots, 4 were on target. One of them was the Burstow deflected effort that went in, which, let's be honest, wasn't a great shot, wasn't a great effort. It was just somehow found the back of the net. And one of them was the Johnston header that deflected into the keeper. And one of them was Cozy Dewberry's shot, which is a decent effort, but straight down the throat of the keeper. And the other one, someone have to remind me, but obviously, it was Gale in the last minute who kind of cut inside and passed it to the keeper. So of them 21 shots, and obviously Cozy Dewberry hit the post in the first half with an amazing solo effort. If that had gone in, you go fair enough. But yeah, you're right. For all the good play, we dominated for the first 70 minutes. I think their first shot was something like the 55th, 60th minute, and it was a 40-yarder that got blocked 5 yards after he hit it. That just showed how little they were in the game and how much we controlled it. But from all that control, we didn't actually create that many clear-cut chances. And look, I'm in the middle of where you are and happy clapping, as we like to call it, because look, I'm ignoring the end of last season. It was a completely different team. It was a team that I thought we would do better with a new manager in. It didn't happen. Whatever, that's gone now. It's a whole new team basically tonight. I mean, last night, who was there that was there last season that started? Joel Randall, Johnston, and Farino. That's pretty much it. Yeah. And I'll say Tutu. But even him was in and out of the team. I mean, didn't play right back, did he, toward the end of last season? So even him, he's a new player in that position, really. So it will take a long time for it to come, and it's a young team as well. It's not like we're full of experienced EFL like professionals that you would expect to come in straight away and perform. Look, it's frustrating because I feel like we've played well enough in all of the games to win them at points, and maybe if you don't win 1 or 2 of them, you can accept it, maybe. But to come away with just 1 win from the first 4 games is annoying. But if we're in this position, I mean, I don't care about the table right now, but say if I don't even know where we are, 12th or 13th or something. Say if we're mid-table,
15th, just below AFC Wimbledon.
Yeah, wherever we are, if we're there in 10 or 12 games time, that's when I kind of think, right, we actually need to start seeing what all the good play come to fruition, come to something at this point. But at the minute, look, it's frustrating, but yeah, I think we're playing well enough in games, and as you mentioned before, we've had 66 shots this season. That's the most of any team in the division.
Yeah,
and we've conceded 19 shots. I'm pretty sure it is, which is the least of any.
I was going to say you've got to balance it. It's 19 efforts against, 6 on target, 4 conceded.
Yeah, there you go.
But that the shots on target that we've conceded is a bit of a worrying one, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm a bit of both with that, because obviously conceding 4 from 6 shots on target is never good. And the two others that were on target were the free kick last week by Keeler Dunn, who was a pretty simple save, and then a pot shot last night from about 25 yards that just went straight at Sharman Lowe. I mean, I don't think he's at fault for any of the goals at Stockport and the goal last night. Look, it's a freak. Inside and leap over it. The only one you can kind of have a grievance with is the McGoldrick one at Barnsley, but even though it's still a good finish, but it's his near post. So look, he could be a great keeper. He could be a rubbish shot stopper. We don't know yet. I think he's basically
he does the brilliant thing. I think for every 5-6 things he does well, he'll do something that puts you on edge. Well, he does with me, certainly. So he'll do some really nice distribution, and then he'll piss about with it while someone closes him down, and then he's under. Do you know what I mean? But he reminds me of those academy kind of keepers. I like that. They're so confident. They're so confident in their own abilities. They've got to be, because they want to be the best in the game, and they've got to be a little bit unhinged. The best keepers always are a little bit nuts, aren't they? I'm currently just looking at the way that Colin spelt what I think is meant to be Arohan.
So
that needs to be called Arohan.
Oh God, yeah. Cole, what is going on there? For any audio listeners, he spelt it AROHAN. Ohom, and Simon's with two M's as well. So
That's
why he talks on a podcast instead of writing up a blog or something. Yeah,
we love you, really, Carl.
Yeah, we do. But yeah, back to Sharman Low. Sometimes in the first, where I sit North Stand Low, so I'm right behind him. And in the first half, the amount of times you just like, as you say, you get put under pressure and then just ping a perfect ball out to Conway or Osei Tutu or ping it straight to the two in midfield. I was like, mate, it's like having a centre midfielder in net. Obviously, you don't want a centre midfielder facing shots in net. So there's the balance to that. I think we'll see about Sharman though. But back to the performance as a whole, because we are going to touch on individuals in a new segment later on. And as we're talking about new segments, we have the return of the Fanzone Fan Focus, which will be our last segment today. So, as you notice, we haven't put out a social media post this time. The way we're going to do it this season is obviously let people know at the start of the podcast, which I was meant to do about 15 minutes ago, and I've only just remembered. But yeah, let people know at the start of the pod that this is how we're going to do it. So get your Fan Focus topics in the comments, and we'll save them for later and address them later on. So if you have any sort of wider topics that you want to discuss, or rather than just odd comments in the comment section, jot them down. We'll star them, we'll save them, and we'll get onto them later. But yeah, so don't think there's anything else to add about last night. It was very frustrating. So let's get on to our next segment, which is Player Profiled. Yeah, player profiled, if I can talk. A new one for this season, where each of the Fanzone co-hosts will each pick a player that they want to talk about for the last game. Might be the same player. I think luckily today we've planned ahead and we're all going to pick a different player. So we'll start off with Ange. You picked first, and go on.
Well, you're definitely a shit at this end.
Can we just flag that? Alex has said that the music volume has caused my phone to snap in half.
I don't know why. We don't know why. It's all right. I know.
It seems okay to us. Maybe we just talk too loud in our head, and it seems all right. Yeah.
We haven't got any form of public liability insurance, Alex, unfortunately. So you're going to have to pay for that, mate. Sorry.
Apologies.
Where there is a blame, there is not a claim today.
Yeah, Dan said it's just blown his soundbar up.
You're going to find a new one. You'll be right.
So music's too loud, but hey.
Noted.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. So yeah, my little star of the show for last night was young Mr. Simons with one M, not two M's, which is Simmons. Yeah, he just really quietly goes about his business. He doesn't. There's no flapping in him. He's really on the front foot. He's really positive. I think he's the best. And I think I might have put him down as I've either put him on one of those things at the predictions pod.
Sign of the season, maybe, yeah.
Either sign of the season or I can't remember. I've definitely put him on for something. I'm already happy with that. But yeah, what can we say about him really? I think he's going to be one who we're going to just get used to him being. If we had man of the match, he would never get it because he always is consistently good. Do you know, like
bit like Sheehan a couple of years ago.
Sheehan a couple of seasons ago, where you just expect him to be brilliant. But there was a couple of times both him and Erhan actually were giving him a bit of grief on the pitch about getting it forward rather than keep playing negative. But yeah, he's absolutely grafts, but in a really, he kind of almost slips under the net a little bit because he does it so well that he's like he's a magician.
Yeah, he's very clean.
I like him a lot. Fangirling.
Yeah. Helps he's a handsome man as well. Yeah.
He's a handsome boy.
He is.
Stunning.
Yeah. Yeah, he never seems to put a foot wrong, which makes him seem like going under the radar a bit. You don't seem to notice him as much as a player that, does the flashy things and maybe they come off, maybe they don't. He just recycles the ball really well. The amount of times mentioned Sharmalo the other day, not the other day, about 10 minutes ago. A couple of times he picked the ball off him and spun and, just kind of played the ball off seamlessly. Yeah, it's impressive.
We don't
Chris,
piss about with it. Don't piss about with it at the back, does he?
No.
How much did it
Who have
cost?
you picked?
How much was it?
Sorry, how much did Simon's cost? Was it 400 grand?
Yes, Dan has actually just popped that in the chat. Where has it gone?
Oh, yeah.
Simon's
There we go.
Yeah.
Simon's for a quarter of the Thomason fee. Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
too shabby at all.
He reminds me of where I thought I'd see Aaron Morley round about now in terms of his progression. That's the kind of player that I was hoping that Aaron Morley would become. And that's no disrespect to Aaron. Obviously, who knows where you'll be in 6-12 months' time in terms of your career progression, but he's definitely that.
And if I'm not mistaken, Simons is younger than both Thomason and Morley. So
another 22, Jimmy's just put in the chat.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Really?
Wow.
He plays. I mean, we just compared him to Sheehan.
Yeah.
We just compared him to Sheehan of a couple of years ago, who is banging on 30 now, isn't he?
Yeah.
So to have that kind of composure at that young age, it's pretty impressive.
He's a bargain.
Frightening.
Yeah. So, Chris, who have you got?
I have gone with his foil in the form of Ethan Arahan.
Not
Arahan.
Not you, Ethan Urethra. As
if anyone meets him, can you just please confirm how we should be saying his names?
Well, I'm going with Big Tom's pronunciation, and obviously he was a staple at Lincoln for a good while, and Jake loves him, doesn't he? Or loved him. So Ethan Arahan, obviously making his first start for Bolton Wanderers last night, crying out for it. I expected him to start at Barnsley, so we had 2 sixes. In away games, he and Simons can obviously sit deep and be that more defensive, more sort of typical 6. But I think you saw last night that they can also play as a more progressive 6, the pair of them. What I like is it's a crispness of passing, and they're not scared of playing it into traffic and playing it through traffic because they're confident with the passing. I think a lot of our players this season have been really sloppy in their passing detail and giving the ball away a lot. Those two just didn't give the ball away. I think the biggest compliment I can pay him is that the game changed upon his withdrawal. I don't think there was any choice in terms of fitness. Obviously, these lads are monitored through GPS and what have you, and all the stats are read. And as soon as they hit a certain zone, obviously it flags the need to bring them off. And I suspect that was the case with him because it certainly wasn't his performance. As with Simons, absolutely impeccable. And they worked together so well. I mean, that's the first time.
290. The better off we'll be.
Yeah,
it's frightening. It really is. The potential there is frightening with those two. They will be, for me, prospectively the best midfield partnership in League One. We'll just go with League One. We're not getting carried away. In League One, let's not get pelters from elsewhere. But they were phenomenal. They were so in tune with each other. They made things happen. Impeccable. And he looks a real player. So he was my pick for last night. We're not doing man of the match, but in terms of somebody who I enjoyed watching, definitely Ethan Rahan.
Yeah, can't really argue with that. I mean, obviously, last night was probably the easiest on paper opposition we've had this season so far. But I mean, that midfield 2 looked a level above any midfield 2 we've had this season so far. I think I'd be surprised if it's not them two with the most amount of appearances for us in the midfield too this season.
I
The most
hope
starts
so.
anyway. Yeah, so do I. But yeah, on to mine. Obviously, you two have nicked the glorious
one.
midfield too.
Oh, you went for the easy ones, didn't we?
Yeah, well, I'm going to go for the other easy one because Mario Kozia Dubry, or Kozia Dubry, as Statman likes to say,
Rolls off the tongue.
ACD.
is just, yeah. I mean, I'm gonna choose my words carefully here. I think he's probably the most one of the most talented players in League One, and has got the talent level to play above. I mean, the amount of times he, every first touch seems to be perfect. The amount of times he gets it and takes 2 or 3 touches before anyone's even clocked onto where he is or where he's got the ball. And I mean, last night, I noticed it a bit at Barnsley, and maybe a bit more so last night, that teams are starting putting 2 and 3 men on him, which I think should open up the left hand side for us if we get the chance a bit of a tactical tweak, maybe to feed Kozidou with the ball, get everyone suffocated on him, and then big switch out to the left hand side. But yeah, I mean, it didn't really stop him last night. He had 7 of our 21 shots, so a third of the whole team shots. Admittedly, a few of them were quite wayward, but he's just a constant threat. There's not much he can do to keep him out of the game. Stick 3 men on him, and he'll beat them all and get through. And obviously got the assist as well for the goal. I
imagine needs to mix it up a bit. I think Matthew just hit the nail on the head there with the times he runs up, that the amount of opportunities he gets, mix it up a little bit, throw a few balls in, doesn't have to cut in every time. I think, but he's learning his craft. That's why he's with us.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's why I said talent, because he has everything to be the best player in League One, but he's not the full package at the minute. Just for the audio listeners, Matthew Rushton did say there's definitely a talent there with ACD, but I think I would like to see a bit more crossing from him as opposed to always cutting in, which I agree. I mean, he had 7 shots yesterday, and I don't think he put half the amount of crosses in going the other way. And ironically, the goal came from him going down the line and cutting it back. So, and he probably should have done that about 2 or 3 minutes after the goal when he went through. Burstow and Randall were both free-ish in the box for a tap-in.
I think there's a good piece in the Statman.
Yeah, I won't ruin his segment too.
Segment.
Yeah. Steal his thunder.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, among the most talented players in League One, and one of the most talented players I've seen play for Bolton over the last few years. I'm going to say it already after 4 games because he can do things that not many players at this level can do. It's just about putting it all together and becoming the complete player, which hopefully he does this season. So yeah, that rounds off player profile. Hope you've enjoyed it. I've had a few shouts in the chat for other players. Joel Randall, I think, had a good game last night. Which I think, on brand, Cole said and spelt his name wrong. He put Joel Randell.
Oh, Cole, all right.
Yeah, I don't think so. He did correct himself this time though, so fair play, pat on the back. But yeah, I think he had a good game last night. He made a good run and a good pass for the goal.
Yeah,
sort of a couple of wayward efforts in the first half, one decent one in the second half. I think he looks more comfortable when we're at home and we have all the ball. He kind of phased in and out of it away games. Didn't have the best.
He's much more suited to home games, and I think I think we'll probably see more. Well, hope we'll see more in home matches than away matches.
Yeah, and another one that Alex has just highlighted. Yeah. We need to talk about how good Burstow's positioning in the box is to continue to get chances off positioning alone. And I agree. Yeah, we just mentioned about how the wingers need to look for him a bit more instead of always cutting in and shooting. But he's managed to get 2 goals so far from little service, to be honest. I really like Burstow. I tweeted about it before saying, he to me looked like just an emergency loan signing to play for the first couple of games while we wait for Dolby to come back or sign a new striker. But to me, someone's got to come in and do a lot to take the number 9 spot off him at the minute, because I'm liking what I'm seeing. His all-round game and his goal-scoring kind of instincts are there at the moment. But getting a bit knackered when he gets to 60, 70 minutes, which is understandable.
Yes, understandable.
He's our only striker at the minute. Until Dolby came on last night. But yeah, I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. But yeah, there we have it for player profiled. We will... I nearly ruined his segment before, so let's get him on before he kills me. Let's get stat on.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Get Stat On with the Statman, where of course we're going to review the Reading game, which I'm sure none of you are going to be happy with the result in the slightest, but there are a fair few positives to take from the game, but we're not going to do them first, we're going to do them later. So let's get on to the tactics board. Should be on your screen about now, and I can already hear the cries of Statman, what the hell is on your screen? And this, right, was your build-up shape and how Reading tried to defend it and how it didn't work in the slightest, right? Because when Sharman Lowe was on the ball and he was, I've just drawn a line by accident, when he was in the middle of the two centre-halves, you formed a back three, as I'm sure you can see. This is the Reading striker, okay? And he was targeted with the job of marking your two defensive midfielders, unless Charlie Savage, which is this man right here, stepped onto Xavier Simons, and he did quite a bit, to be fair. But the only problem with that is it left Lewis Wing in the middle to mark both Randall and Koziadubri, who had drifted inside, because the other central midfielder was marking Conway. And it just didn't work at all, because it would just take one ping from Sharman Lowe out to OC Tutu here on the wing, or he could even play it to... There's no point me even trying to say his name, is there? With my accent, I'll probably end up choking. Big Eef here. You could just play it to him, turn, you're gone. And your build-up worked very well. That wasn't the problem at all. The way they defended it was absolutely shocking. But your build-up was not the issue. The issue was your attacking shape, which looked a bit like this, right? Hang on. Give me a brief second. Now, obviously, their players aren't in the correct position straight away, but this is your attacking shape of a 2-2-6, because Conway would often, like the line works, Conway would often be up here, overlapping Sissoko, or he would just tuck inside slightly, or he'd hold the line. Either way, he was involved in the attack, right? And the big issue for me was this man right here, Koziadubri. And now you may be thinking, Statman, he had a blooming blinding game. What on earth are you on about? From the opening 3-4 games, we know Koziadubri is miles better out here when he's got paint on his boots and he can drive at his fullback. And OC Tutu, while he can play on the wing, he's not a winger, is he? And I'm going to show you what happened here, because when you were trying to break Reading down, you couldn't do it. And that is why you drew the game. Because your first shot on target was in the 52nd minute when Burstow scored. But you just couldn't break him down. Because there was a lot of times in the game where they'd be sat on the edge of the box like this. And everyone, you'd have half your team in their blooming final third, but you just couldn't do anything. Right? So, a lot of the time it came out to OC Tutu or Sissoko on the wing. We'll say OC Tutu's got the ball for now. And if Koziadubri wants to get in the game here, he's got two real options. He can either run forward into this space, and then one of the midfielders has to follow him because the centre-back goes out of space and midfielder tucks in, okay? And if he runs into that space, it leaves space in the middle for OC Tutu, okay? And if he comes inside, he's on his left foot. So you don't want to do that. The other option is for Koziadubri to drop off and then overlap OC Tutu. And then again, OC Tutu can only come inside on his left foot. Why you couldn't break him down? If you swap these, simply, if OC Tutu was told to come inside instead of Koziadubri, then when he made the run, Koziadubri could come inside, get a shot off, or he could play it into Burstow or into Randall. Or, if OC Tutu overlaps Koziadubri, then again, can come inside and do the same sort of thing. It just works better when you've got a left footer on the right wing, and that is only when they're sitting in a low block. When you're on the counter, it's completely different because you've just got free space to run into. But that is completely the reason you couldn't break him down, and that is why you drew the game, because you were dominating for a good hour, right? But it didn't matter, because all you did when you got to the edge of the box was just had a shot. Like you didn't try to break him down because you couldn't break him down, because the only space that was created was on people's weak foot because of that situation there. And it worked better on the left side because Conway knew to come inside or to overlap at the right times. But you played more on the right, and I don't know what that reason was. It was probably because Kozidubri was open in the middle, but even then, he shouldn't be the man tucking in. Apologies for a bit of a rant there. In other words, just swap OC22 and Kozidubri and you sorted. But let's move on to some positives, shall we? Because that was quite the rant. Just one more thing before we go positive, actually. The striker isn't the problem. Many people can have an argument about if Burstow's good enough or if Dolby was good enough when he came on, or if even blooming Big Vic is good enough when he comes back. Well, it doesn't matter how good your striker is if you don't get ball. And you didn't get ball because when you got to the final third, you couldn't break him down. And you have been focusing on your defensive shape, and Schumacher said that in the pre-match interview, to be fair. But you don't win League One just by defending, do you? So anyway, we'll go on to positives. Okay, because you expose the Reading shape very well, because their defensive structure was just blooming gash. It was just left wing, Mark and whole midfield on his own, and that just didn't work in the slightest. But it was good to see Randall get more involved in the play. You know, he had 40 touches in the game, 11 passes into the final third, which is pretty mega, and he tried quite a few balls over the top, and it did nearly come off, to be fair. So you can see he's getting better and better. He seems like one of those players that you just got to get used to. And I know he has been at the club for probably 9 months now, but yeah, you've just got to get used to him. And once everyone else gets used to how he plays, I think he'll be a quality player. One more thing to say about just the game in general before a couple more positives. Why on earth was their manager wearing boots? Is it Sunday League? No, I can't believe it. That is disgraceful. Anyway, your midfield two of Simons and Big Heath, because again, I'm not going to even bother saying his last name. They were absolutely superb, because Simons made the most passes with 64, created 2 chances, 9 passes into the final third, and 7 ball recoveries as well. Very well-rounded performance. And then Big Heath, he just looked very, very steady. He seemed like one of those players that just kept it ticking. But to be fair to him, he also created 3 chances and also made 7 passes into the final third and made 3 recoveries. So, that was a quality performance from them too. It wasn't their fault that you drew. It was the attacking 5 that were in the wrong position. And I will have that argument with absolutely anybody. So feel free to tweet me if you feel differently. Anyway, I'm going to stop ranting now. And you can enjoy the rest of the review. And I'm sure I'll see you very soon for when we review the Lincoln game on weekend. Goodbye.
He had boots on.
I know. I didn't notice that, mate.
I never noticed that. The only time I've ever noticed anything like that before is when we played Bristol Rovers away and one of the stewards had boots on.
He did. He was right near us, wasn't he?
What are you doing?
Bright green boots on.
Weird.
Everyone got injured and he got the call up to.
Yeah.
It's like if you get someone who runs on the pitch, he's the guy who chases him when he's got boots on.
He's prepared.
Yeah. Just for the viewers, if you heard any bad language during the Statman segment, we apologise for that. I don't know, is gash considered?
What is it in the Urban English Dictionary?
Just makes you think of the in-betweeners, to be honest. Makes you think of Jay.
Yeah, fine. Yeah, we can run with that.
I don't think Jay's a good kind of what's the word? Kind of role model to take your language from on a PG YouTube channel, but we'll let it slide.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah, passionate as always from Statman. He's got to be defensive at the end, didn't he? If anyone can argue with me, come at me on Twitter. So go for it.
At him on Twitter if you disagree.
He's opened the door. Yeah. Yeah, lovely from Statman. Yeah, touched on what we were talking about before. I mean, I did watch it before, so maybe I stole a bit, but yeah, talking about Kozidubri always cutting inside. Needs to be playing a bit more wide, and as you're saying about Burstow, didn't really get the service. I know he scored, but that was 1 or 2 shots he had all night. The other one was a shot that was blocked after about 20 yards out, something like that. But good stuff from Statman as always. He'll be back on Sunday to review the Lincoln game. Carmen's just joined the chat. What is next? It's another new one.
Another
new one.
Another one?
Another one. Yeah, let's have a look.
This is what we all would look like on a gravity wheel.
Makes me dizzy, though.
Yes, 3 up, 3 down is a new segment for this season. Quite simply, 3 positives and 3 negatives from the match. And I've not had the word from HR. This is how we're going to do it. I'm going to open it up to anything positive and negative about the whole match day experience. So it can go from getting stuck in traffic on the way there, or having a beautiful pint, or seeing someone you've not seen in ages at the match. Anything. You can open up to anything, because we don't just talk football here. So,
also put your positive and your negative in the chat.
Yeah, get them down in the chat.
Yeah.
I mean, we're all a big family here, aren't you? You get involved. Get involved in
one
the
of
chat.
each. One of each.
Let's have one of each. One positive, one negative. Chris, let's go with you first, mate. Let's have one of each.
I'm glad you did that. Positive was, while stood on the concourse last night having a pint, that one of our viewers, who will remain anonymous, who asked to remain anonymous, and we've got no issue with that whatsoever, gave me some fantastic feedback, which Ben has already touched upon right at the beginning of the pod, which is, why, oh why, have you got a video clip of Aaron Collins in your intro, which is a really good point, and we love your feedback. And I found that as a real positive. As I mentioned to him, and as we spoke about already, we're doing something about it. We want your videos. We want clips, anything that you think that would sit nicely in our intro for the pod. And we're going to put your name in lights. If you want, if you choose to.
Away concourse singing and stuff like that. In the moment stuff is what we want.
Yeah, exactly. Anything that you think would sit really well, might be something a little bit different. I don't know. But yeah, anything like that, we'll put a post out. I think it'll be tomorrow. So yeah, let us know. So that's my positive. In terms of a negative, I'm going to go with, I think he's had a lot of praise. Well, justifiably, he's had a lot of praise this season. However, I think that he really got found out a little bit last night, and he was targeted, which was Max Conway. He's got to take the ruck with the smooth. He's going to be a phenomenal player, but he's got to take the criticism as well as the adulation. I think he was targeted a lot last night, and I think he showed some deficiencies where he's going to learn. But whilst it's a negative, not too much of a negative.
Yeah, fair enough.
Those are mine.
I think you're right about Conway. Yeah, I mean, we were talking about it, weren't we, pre-pod, about he looked a little bit tired last night. I mean, he's been outstanding in his first 3 games, as good as we could have imagined him to be, really. But yeah, looked a little bit tired last night, and obviously kind of missed a challenge for their goal. Yeah, just a tiny little negative on his Bolton career so far. But as you say, mate, I've no doubt he's going to be a great player for us.
It's phenomenal.
Ange, go on, give us your 1 up and 1 down.
Who am I going to say? Young Mr. Simon.
Of course.
Hey, I'm definitely just going to be fangirling him all season. But little ray of sunshine, what is not to love? My negative, £6.25 English pence for a pint of piss on that concourse.
Oh, wee.
What on earth? Are you actually joking me?
How much
of that pint ends up down my front, Christoph?
Oh, it was everywhere.
Honest to God.
Car crash.
Yeah, £6.25.
How much were they last season?
Maybe £5.95. I'm sure they weren't over £6.
No, it was less than six. Less than six. In the chat on the concourse, how much was a pint of Madrid last season?
I feel it were like £5.95 or something.
Yeah.
I mean, £6 is a pint in a nice place in Manchester, really, isn't it?
Yeah. Something somewhere nice with a view of a bloody river or something. Not
a view of that last night.
Get it off my chest.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
That's a good one.
That is a
very good. It's down to me. I'm gonna say my positive is not to get all emotional, but it's just not. It's my first home game back. It was nice to be back. Although the result didn't go the way, it was nice to be back. Nice to be back with all the guys and girls that we go to the match with. Had a nice barbecue in the afternoon pre-match.
Oh, a day of it.
Exactly. I had a couple of beers before.
You had a day off work.
I know, exactly. Not bad, was it?
Phenomenal. Love that.
Yeah. Nice to see everyone again. Nice to have a few pints for the match, and then nice for Bolton to go and disappoint us again. But yeah, that is my positive. My negative is I would probably pinpoint that kind of feeling between about minute 75 and minute 85, the 10 minutes before they scored, that feeling of going, we should be 2-0 up. Why are we not 2-0 up? Why are we not 2-0 up? Thinking, here we go. They made some subs here. They're looking a little bit more dangerous, and you just knew the goal was coming. And the way the goal came as well, just that whole feeling in the last 15 minutes of inevitability, really. And then when it came, you go,
yeah.
We all knew that was going to happen. Why did we not make the game done and dusted in the first hour, 70 minutes? But yeah, there were our 3 ups, 3 downs. I'm gonna flip through the chat and see some more. Radic Selecti's gone. Teddy Sharman Lowe's kicking is positive. Yeah, absolutely loved it. And the negatives, and the negatives, the subs, which I believe we're going to touch on Fan Focus. Dan's gone for Simons and Irahan as his positives. Yeah, love that midfield too. Negatives, the obvious, the result. Had a couple more. Obviously, Macaulay's gone for the 2 midfield. A lot of love tonight for Simons and Irahan. Matthew Rushton's gone for Simons and Irahan partnership midfield. Negative, the lack of clinical finishing. Yeah. Yep. I think we're all in the same boat. So yeah, let us know if you like the new segments. A couple of them this season. First show we've done them. Always happy for feedback. Have we've gone over this episode? So without any further ado, let's jump into the last segment, and it's an old favourite.
Not entirely sure what I'm doing in that picture.
I think that was towards the end of the shoot, wasn't it? When it was
to watch a match.
Yeah, I know. It's the gesticulation that concerns me, Angela. Not so much the.
I was too busy dancing. I didn't know. What are you doing?
Hopefully that distracts people. Well, I've starred loads of stuff.
Get him going.
You can kick off if you want, Chris. Yeah.
A lot of them tend to relate to similar sort of subjects, but let's pick a few which are quick fire. The first one being big influencer, big contributor to the show. That's easy for me to say. Line in Vienna, who says, "I hope folk get off McAtee's back." I couldn't agree more. There's criticism, and as fans, we've always got that right, and this has always been something. You can go back. What episode are we on tonight? 146.
Yeah.
You can go back 80 episodes. You can go back 90 episodes. You can go back 100 episodes. We've always been advocates of this, and we're not happy clappers. Believe you me, if you sat next to any of us in the ground, you would know full well that we're not.
Or if
And
you're in the WhatsApp chat.
Yeah. If you were in the WhatsApp chat about 8 o'clock this morning, you know we're not happy clappers. And I'm going to justify myself. I've been watching this football club for 40 years, and I've seen the worst of it. So don't ever label me a happy clapper. But I have seen it firsthand, and we've had him on. We had Elias Kachunga on the pod talking about this and about the effects that it had on him, and it does get to them. Yeah, don't be saying man up. Don't be saying it's generational, and don't be doing all that nonsense. Or it's all partnering and whatever. People are different, so criticize by all means. Get it personal. He'd probably give you a slap because I tell you what, he's from Wesley, isn't he? So yeah. So, but joking aside, get off his back and let him have a chance. He's always been there for us. He puts a lot of effort in. You see the passion when it's going right. Aside from that, just a chill dude pose. No, we don't do that. But aside from that, he clearly thinks a lot of the club and he's very passionate about what he does. So give him a chance.
It's not for a lack of trying, is he? You can see he 100% every single game. Whether it goes right or wrong, he's absolutely wants to do his best for the football club. And I mean, end of the day, that's what we ask for, isn't it?
Yeah, it's it is. It's what I think we've said that as well before, Ben. That ultimately all we want is players to come into the club who are proud to wear the badge and play for the shirt. It goes a long way as a Bolton player. So think on.
It's a really sad state of affairs when people are having delete Instagrams and make the profile pictures black and
people say, oh, he's doing it for attention. Yeah, he probably is doing it for attention because it's something that's it's affecting him. He's not looking to do it for attention in a positive way, but we don't know him, so let's not comment on it. It's not right, but just get off his back. So yeah, thanks for that line of Vienna. So if we look at Leslie's comment here, and I think we've spoken about the negative impact that the subs had on the result last night. And Leslie has said, why did he play Dolby last night when he's had 0 minutes playing for the team? He should have played in the B team in the afternoon. Schumacher should have kept him till Saturday, not fit enough.
Bristol's blowing.
Yeah, but I think
you've got to keep Burstow fit. I think
desperation, wasn't it really? Yeah.
I think he had no option. I think that's literally it.
He's been substituted in every game so far. Mason Burstow, that is, and understandably so. He there's a lot of focus on him. There's a lot of effort going in, and there's a lot of detail going into his play. So inevitably, he's going to be tired, and the prospect of him getting injured is utterly frightening. So just to have that opportunity to make a light, Les, I know what you mean. I was the same, but you just got to think about it. Sort of.
And I think we all assumed from Shuey's previous interview that he was going to play in that B team game, but.
Yeah. I must admit, I was surprised. I remember we were talking in the chat, weren't we, about Dolby and Taylor, who were both back on the grass this week. Yeah, Forrester. Sorry, yeah. Yeah. And when we saw that Dolby hadn't been involved in the B team, there were obviously rumours around on Twitter saying, "Oh, maybe he's involved in the squad tonight." And I was thinking in my head, I don't know, I'd be surprised if he was straight back in without any minutes in the B team. But I mean, as you say, it's desperation, really, isn't it? We can't afford to go to 0 fit senior strikers if something happened to Burstow after he runs his socks off for 60, 70 minutes. And look, he didn't have a great cameo last night. Obviously, he gave the ball away for the goal, but I mean, you have to give him minutes at some point if you want to get him back up to speed. And yeah, it's frustrating, but it's obviously not the debut he would have wanted. But I think it kind of needs must.
I think the ideal scenario would have been, as we should have been, probably 2 or 3-0 up.
Yeah.
20 minutes left. Obviously, let Burstow have a rest.
No pressure. Yeah.
Yeah, and then just let him go out there and express himself for 20 minutes and see what he can do. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case when it should have been. I think that plays a big part. We'll close things out with this one because this is going to spark some debate and discussion. So, Dan, 10 days left in the window. What do we need both in and out? So we'll start with a reply in the chat, which is from Radix. And he's gone with in, right back.
Yeah.
I think that's a perfectly reasonable call. With the prominence of Max Conway coming in at left back and doing such a good job, it really does emphasise the gap there. An experienced centre back, yeah, I can agree with that. Toley and Jono together doing well. We're not conceding as at the rate we were conceding, and that was a priority. So yeah, I think somebody to come in there to help out. So I think about somebody like, I'm not saying go and sign Will Aimson, but somebody like a Will Aimson kind of figure at the back. Yeah, wouldn't be a detriment to what we've got already. And a striker with a bit of guile. And this is the one, and I imagine it's a unanimous across the fan base to get a striker in. Obviously, Dolby's coming back into fitness. Burstow's done probably better than expected. Vic is a few months away yet. But to bring in another striker, I don't know. I wouldn't go as far as David McGoldrick kind of age, but a striker with League One experience or Championship experience who scored goals at the level. I don't think that would go amiss, and it would certainly help what we have in situ. Ange, what do you think? Ins and outs?
I'm in agreement. I am in agreement. I'm wrestling with whether it's more of a 10 we need than the striker.
Yeah.
I'm obviously when Dolby's fit and hopefully up to speed and banging him in like he did in the Scottish Prem.
Yeah.
Which you couldn't argue is similar to League One.
Yeah.
And then yes, we're not going to offload Bikawi while he's injured, so we got him when he comes back. Have they registered Dan?
No.
Young Charlie probably needs a little bit of maybe a loan experience, even if it's for half a season.
Funnily enough, Radix has touched on that. He's also said out Sean, which I think is inevitable. A loan for Charlie Warren. I know it's sad, isn't it? But
it is sad,
I love his enthusiasm, but I get it. But yeah, that 10, and I know you all. There's loads of chat in the chat. Ironically,
yeah, I can't look at the live chat because I'm looking at the starred stuff. So if anybody
on Charles, and I think there's too much water under bridges personally in that situation to even contemplate him coming back, whether we wanted him or not. So I'm not going to join that debate. No. But yeah, so I'm wrestling a little bit whether is it another striker we need or is it a decent, gritty, dirty, that 10 we've been every season of this podcast we've been saying that we're dying for.
What about you, man?
Yeah, I'm in agreement. I mean, my worry really, and I mean, I think outs is the bigger issue kind of, because I feel like our squad's pretty bloated. I mean, I'm not sure on numbers, but obviously there was the 18 last night, and then from off the top of my head, there's Forrester, Dempsey, Adebayo, Charlie Warren, and a couple of others I'm missing. Sabi Sean. I mean, Daniel Underlew's not registered, but I mean, our squad's pretty bloated. It feels like Carlos Mendes Gomez, who wasn't on the bench last night. Richard Taylor. Yeah, it feels like we have more than enough in terms of cover. Whether that cover's good enough or not, I think it'll be one of them. Obviously, 10 days left of the window. I think we'll see a few outs, especially the young lads, as Reddick's mentioned before, with Abin Bowler and Lawrence. I think it'd be good to get them probably like National League sort of loans, just for some regular football, regular men's football. Obviously, Sabi looks like he's on the way out. I must admit, when we did our first post-match or the first preview, I can't remember, the first show I was on, we talked about the transfer window. And at that point, I was desperate for a striker. I think every game that passes by, I'm less desperate because I'm impressed by Burstow. And obviously, Dolby's returning. And I feel like I was talking about this with Jake on his podcast, little plug here for the Lincoln, that I was on the other day. Their previous show, I think, is out today. I'm not too sure, to be honest.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, it was actually. Yeah, it was. Yeah, just about how it's a bit of a tough sell. I mean, 3 weeks ago, it would have been, lads, we're desperate for a striker. Does anyone want to come in and play for us every week? Now it's, well, we've got a striker who looks pretty good on loan, who we're happy to start most weeks. We've got our main striker that we signed about 3 months before the season started, that we're hanging our hat on to score a load of goals for us. Do you want to come and be our third choice striker? It's a bit of a harder seller, really, isn't it? I think it's one of them where, I mean, the K name has been banned from this podcast because it's been banned
we
so
don't
many times on Twitter.
We don't speak.
That's finally died down a bit. I think that's not going to happen. But I think it's either going to be another young loanee that comes in with the hope of some first team minutes, but no guarantee, or like you said, someone in the mould of like James Collins or Chris Martin or who has played championship football in the last few years, who can step down and is okay. I mean, Cameron Jerome, who will step down and he's happy being more of a mentor, but can fill in and has the experience to chip him with goals when we need him. Basically. I don't mind that centre back shout. Yeah, I mean, there was some. I normally kind of laugh off the ex-player shout, but there's a couple of shouts for Craig Dawson, and honestly, could do a lot worse. I mean, God knows what wages he was on at his last club. I mean, trying to think where he was the last.
Wolves?
Was it? Yeah, it was Wolves, wasn't it? So Premier League money, but I don't know. Be one of them to see. But someone in his mould, like Premier League Championship experience, who's probably mid 30s, maybe he'll come in and steady the ship when we need to, and then maybe tougher away games. But I think I'm less desperate for a striker now. We're still obviously need one for numbers, but yeah.
I think what Callum was saying before in his segment about the service.
Yeah.
You can't really judge what we've got at the moment because of the lack of service. So if we did have somebody who was prolific and the fox in the box, if they're not getting the service, then it's a waste of money.
Yeah. And look, Burstow's got 2 in 4. And there's only, off the top of my head, Jamie Reid and a couple of others who have more goals than him in League One this season. So I can't really complain with his goal output so far. And Big Dolby scored a load in the Scottish Premiership last season. Let's see if he can. Go on, Chris. I can hear you chuckling.
So Dan has come up with this one. Craig Dawson's sister was watching her son play against Lennon, who's Dan's son, team in a Wolves top. She said he wants to move back to Bury, so a local move is what he wants. So we are in the know, and it looks like if you want to get Dawson on the back of your shirt, obviously I'd recommend it. Get it done.
There we go. Bit of inside scoop from Dan there, yeah? Just, I mean, next time you're there, just have a bit more of a
This is exactly how football signings work.
Yeah.
Oh, it is completely. Scouting networks, data, nah.
It's all sorted out at grassroots.
Exactly.
Saturday mornings.
Yeah, make sure you turn up with a contract next time. Dan.
And a bag of swag.
Yeah. But yeah, I think we are all but done. Are we done for Fan Focus, Chris? Are you happy with that?
I think we're pretty much there, mate. Yeah, thank you very much. I think that worked really, really well, guys. So,
Look, we're over again. We've done segments, then we're over again.
Yeah. Only just, though.
Yeah, not too bad. I think the preview of the day went on for about an hour and a half. So, yeah.
Yeah, it did. Yeah. Jake's fault, though, isn't it?
Of course, yeah, he talks too much, doesn't he? But yeah. Anyway, yeah, thanks everyone for your contribution to Fan Focus. As I said, I think that worked pretty well. So, love your feedback. I'm pretty sure that's the way forward now. Yeah, so thanks again for tuning in to the Fanzone. Bit of a frustrating result, but I've enjoyed tonight. I hope you all have as well. Once again, shout out to Loving My Socials, our lovely sponsors for anything social media or website wise. Get on her.
Ben were pointing to his window then, but I don't know why.
I was pointing at my Izzy shirt because Leslie said, "Get Izzy back, Chris." I'd love that.
Oh yeah. But yeah, thanks everyone for watching. Let us know how you enjoyed the new segments, or if you didn't enjoy the new segments. If you want to bin them off and get some old ones back, yeah, we will do. Obviously, it's your show at the end of the day.
We'll see you Sunday.
Yes, we'll see you on Sunday. Bit strange. It'll be 2 post matches back to back. It'll be the first time we've done that after doing a double header preview.
Yeah.
Well, it's Thursday. It's the most Wednesday Thursday ever.
Yeah, it's strange, isn't it? I know me and my dad have been confused this week.
This Sky thing is ruining my calendar.
Yeah, all over the shop.
Yep, absolutely Radix. Hopefully 3 points on Saturday. 3-point pod. 3-point pod on Sunday. We need one, don't we? Thank you, everyone. Good evening. Good night.